All right, we are rocking and rolling on the SkyMaster A10. Welcome to video 4 in the spa treatment and refinishing of the SkyMaster A10 aircraft. So last video we had just finished up our fuselage, our second wing as well, and all of our painting is done at this point, which is a huge relief. Lots accomplished. It's very relieving for me to have all those things completed. So next thing to do is to move on to the stickers or decals. I know that drives people nuts, that's why I'm saying it. So we're putting the nomenclature and decals and stickers on the aircraft. Fortunately, as some of you may know, if you've been watching the series, we have another Black Snakes SkyMaster aircraft right back there, I think. So we've got a nice template to follow, which is wonderful. Now, some of the nomenclature isn't quite the same because this is from SkyMaster, and what we're putting on this aircraft is from Cali Graphics, same one that we used previously, but very, very close. So we've got things like the left wing here that we can just use to get all of our nomenclature installed. So the goal for this video is, number 1, get all the nomenclature installed. Number 2, clear coat all of the aircraft and all of the parts and let things cure. So lots to accomplish in this video, so we better get busy. All right, so basically all of our Cali graphics that we got here are all vinyls, which is fine. And I'm just gonna match everything up to where it is on the other aircraft, which makes things very nice. The very first Black Snakes one that I did, I needed to look online and scour through pictures and everything. And it was quite a chore to figure out where all these guys went. So this is handy. So it's pretty simple to install because they're vinyl. So we're just going to find the right spot right there. Make sure the star is the correct direction. And give it some pressure. And peel off our transfer paper. So pretty straightforward. The vinyls work very well, and what actually holds this all together is our clear coat when that's installed. So it's going to be a nice finished product. Just give it a final press, and just like that, things are transformed. Now, when I go over these riveted areas, I like to, give it some extra pressure and time here just to make sure that the rivet details are secured nicely. So yeah, just like that. So this is the sheet with all of our no steps and everything. So pretty straightforward. Again, we just have some transfer paper, some vinyls. So we'll get all these guys installed and we'll show you what the wing looks like after we're done. All right, so our nomenclature is done on both of our wings. Turned out very nice. And it's time to do some clear coat. Now, we still have all of our nomenclature to do on our other parts, but one of the benefits of how we're doing this plane is we are using rattle cans for our clear coat as well too. So I get these from the same location. This is satin. So you could also use like a matte or a flat finish. When I look at pictures online of the Black Snake scheme, it looks like the satin finish. So this is the same finish that we used on the previous one, and I like it. It looks really awesome. This, I think, is a satin finish here, or maybe a matte. It's not flat, but this is kind of the finish that it ends up looking like. The gray is more of a semi-gloss type finish, so it kind of dulls this down and this kind of stays the same. But this protects the paint, and it's obviously going to go over top of all of our decals that we've installed. Now, this is a 2K product, so if you're not familiar with this, the instructions are pretty straightforward, but you take this little plunger out, you put it on the bottom, you pop it, and then you give it a good shake. The two products mix together, so you only have so long to use this. It's actually not so bad, like you have hours or days to use it, like 24 hours kind of thing. But it's pretty straightforward. I think it says here, once activated, pot life is 48 hours. I think you'd want to use it within 24. So I'm going to pop one of the cans. We're going to get one of the wings painted. We'll see how far that goes. I have 5 cans in total. I'm thinking we'll probably use 1 can per wing, 1 on the fuselage, 1 on the spare parts. So I suspect we'll probably use 4 in total, but I'll let you guys know what we actually end up using. So that one is ready to go. So we'll take you outside when we're ready and show you the process. So one of my favorite things for painting wings is a mic stand, like a microphone stand. So that's my painting stand. It's covered in various shades of gray, but that's what we're using to paint the wing. Now, it's probably showing up pretty gloomy on camera today, but just smoky out right now. There's forest fires to the north, and that's why it's all gloomy. Sun's in the sky, right up there, completely covered in smoke. So when you're putting the clear coat on, it's very much the same process as the paint. Just checking my nozzle direction. These cans also have a changeable nozzle. Most cans do actually. You can rotate that and get a different profile. So the wind is coming from your guys' direction. So we're overlapping our strokes or our passes by about 50%. So top side's done. Just do one more pass on the leading edge there. And same thing on the underside. Now when you spray the gray, it's kind of changing color just a little bit, so it makes it a little more obvious as to where you're spraying. The nice thing is with no wind right now that it's actually pretty easy to get this done. Now safety-wise, if I was spraying inside or in a spray booth, yes, I would be wearing my respirator. But we're outside. I can see the overspray going that way, which is perfect. Okay, so we used about half a can, so we may be able to get the other wing done with this can, which is awesome. So that wing's finished. I'm only going to do one coat on it, I believe, and should be good. So I'm going to bring this inside, hang it from our drying rack, and we'll bring the other wing out. All right, so it's been about 2 hours since we sprayed the wing, and I just want to show you guys the consistency now with how the wing looks. So you can see that the black is kind of the same. The gray is much more toned down, not shiny. So it's all got the same finish, which is perfect. So that's one of the wings. The other wing's over there. And one of the other details I forgot to get sprayed was on the right gear pod. The tip is black. The left one is all gray. So anyways, masked that off, painted that guy. And then now we're just going through part by part and getting the nomenclature installed. So we've got both of the engine pods done. We've got both of the verticals done. So you can see here, other vertical is up top and the horizontal is there. So that is enough to pop another can here and get all these guys cleared as well. So that'll be a huge step forward. And if we have any left over from that one can, then I will do some of the smaller parts like our pylons, canopy, stuff like that. So, all right, so we're moving on to the hardest decal to install, and that is the nose snake face, I guess is what you'd call it. So one little trick here from the kits that I've done so far is this is going to be the left side of the aircraft, and sorry, the right side of the aircraft. So it goes like this. There's a bump on the front of the aircraft. That bump sits right in this location right here. So I pre-cut that out. Cinder's growing like a weed. And her playtime is definitely infectious. Hi, turkey. All right, so that's kind of the locating piece right there. That's the best way to think about it. And then what I do is this little piece right there, you can either run it onto the top plate. I like to have it just in the gap, and that kind of lines up the mouth. Now when you do the mouth, all of this piece here and some of this stuff is going to get cut off. So don't worry about that. Just worry about number one, getting the button lined up in that hole, and number two, this is kind of your positioning there. So I'll show you guys what this looks like. I think from memory on the previous kit, I think I used soapy water to install this. So that's another option as well too. And getting this one off is a little bit of a pain because there's so many details. But once you get it started, it's pretty good. So our transfer paper is separated. So now, first thing I'm going to do is get that spot kind of lined up. Second thing is get that lined up. And once that's done, the eye kind of sticks down, and just kind of work your way around everything. If you're not familiar with using these things, it's probably best to use the soapy water. It just takes a lot longer because you have to squeegee all the soap out of the between the vinyl and the fuselage. All right, so this becomes a little bit of a pain as you get to this front portion here. So the other thing I'll do is, now that we're positioned, we're going to take this, separate all these pieces. On the Skymaster kit, the face is actually painted on, so it's quite a different setup. I'm just going to leave the transfer paper on those top guys. And yes, this is definitely one of the hardest parts of this. Everything else is quite simple. So we're just going to work our way through this, and once we get it installed, then we will be good. Vinyl down here is a real pain because it's got to bend around everything, which is the worst part. Okay, so all of the top part I'm happy with, and then we'll just work our way through this bottom section. There, so now we're going to stick that around for now. Now we're going to take our X-Acto and just get rid of the excess on the nose here. Just make sure we clean that up. So the little ridges that are in there, you can usually go through and get them pushed down. And they kind of disappear. And then this little section here around the door, I'm not going to keep that on the door. I'm just going to cut that off. Okay, so now finishing up this back section here. So we'll just peel that off. Now this spot right there, I'll show you what we'll do to finish that guy off. There. So then we'll come through here. We'll cut that off. Peel this guy down so it overlaps, and then we'll just cut it off again. There. And now once the clear coat goes on, it'll keep everything nicely stuck down. We'll just clean up those edges of the ones that we peeled off. Perfect. There we go. So one side of the snake head is installed. And it turned out good. So now we'll match the other side up as best as we can. And that's pretty much the last bits for this fuselage. All right, guys, as I suspected, we are going to end up using 4 cans of the clear coat to cover everything. This is about 30% left in this can, and the only thing we have left to do is the underside of the fuselage. So we've got a little bit of a late start today in the evening, so the top side is all done. We just have the underside, the flats basically of the bottom of the fuselage. So we'll let that cure overnight and we'll take care of that tomorrow. We could, if it was still early enough, do it now, but it's basically dry to the touch, but we'll let that harden up or stiffen up overnight. So all of our little parts are done here. Pylons are all done. Wings, pods, tail, canopy, flaps, gear pods, all that stuff is done. So that is wonderful. So what does that mean? Well, it means that we can start putting this thing back together, which is awesome. So we do have our lighting kit to install, so that's probably what we're going to focus on first, is getting the lighting kit installed, then putting the wings back together. That's kind of my initial thoughts here, because we want to get our wires run through the wings before we put our gears on and everything, so it'll be a bit of a chore. But yeah, we still have lots to do on this thing, so we'll let this cure overnight and we'll come back tomorrow. All right, guys, and if you've been following along on the channel, you are aware of Cinder. She is doing amazing. She's growing a ton, and she is the spunky little kitten that you would expect. Jumping all over the place. She is everywhere, but yeah, she's a heck of a lot bigger than quite a few weeks ago. All right, so it's the next day and we are just putting things back together. So we still have to paint the underside of the fuselage. It's a little chilly out this morning as fall creeps in. So we're just waiting a little bit to pull that outside and paint the underside, but that looks amazing. I love the uniform finish now on the clear coat. And as it goes, I'm just putting our scale pieces back on our pylons here, so pretty straightforward, just screwing those guys back in. Now we do have another pylon on order from Skymaster, from Doug at Jets North Jets, and so when that one comes in, I'll be able to paint it, because we've got the paint in the rattle cans, put clear coat on it, mount it, so it'll be pretty straightforward. The one that we are installing, just for reference, is this guy here. So it's the outer pylon on the left wing, which this has the cutout and the cover and everything for the actual arm. So when these guys are installed, the linkage arm for the aileron is covered. So it's kind of a nice one, because it actually cover something. All right, so clear is done on the bottom side. That turned out, of course, amazing, just like the top side. We've got our verticals installed. Now when we put our verticals on, we're making sure we inspect everything. We're putting Loctite on our bolts, which is important. So that's all done, and we're just gonna put our cover plates back on with our screws. Once those are done, we'll touch up the screw heads and make sure they're black. But the tail is put back together. So now that our tail's put back together, it's time to start looking into our light installation. So we've got a couple things to do here on the fuselage. Number one, we have the light at the back of the fuselage, and then also in the belly, which it looks like is going to go right there. So we'll take a look at that stuff and see about getting that installed. We're going to have to wait to do the belly one for a little bit until the clear coat dries, because we have to flip the plane over, but it's not doing too bad right now. It's pretty solid. So I'm going to start off in the back here and work our way forward. So first thing we're going to do is cut this back portion off, just using a razor saw. Now generally these details are kind of like solid hunks of material, epoxy, I don't know what you want to call it. So that gets cut off, and then we need to hollow this out so our light fits inside there. Now this is a pretty simple setup. We're going to leave a little bit of ridge around the perimeter. Light slips in, lens actually goes over top of the little ridge on the light. So it's actually a very nice and simple install. A little gray touch-up's not a big deal at all. So we're just going to take our Dremel and open that guy up. All right, so we've extended our wire here. There's plenty of extra wire to go all the way to the front, and got that soldered on. We've got little grooves sanded in the sides here. Need to sand the little grooves out to allow the wire to pass through. So now we'll get this almost all installed like that. And what we do to get this stuck in place is we use goop. So great product. E6000 works as well too, and E6000 is a little bit thinner. So we'll just put a little bit of goop on the top and the bottom of this guy. Like that. So we'll pop the light in, and then we'll glue the lens in place. Okay, so that's done. Wipe off our excess. Now the lens goes over top of the silver part. So the lens is going to stick on just like that. So we don't need much on here, but we'll just take the goop and just put it around the perimeter a little bit. And the nice thing about the goop product, we use this quite often for various things, but the nice thing about the goop product is once it's cured, you can also get it off pretty easy as well. So any of the excess, you can wipe it off after it's dry. It's also paintable, so great product. And now what we'll do is we'll take our tape and get this guy taped in place. Just like that. So that'll sit for a little while and let that cure. One of the challenges is running this wire forward. Now, it's definitely a bit of a challenge because you have this wide open empty area, then you've got the fuel tanks, but what I generally do is with the fuselage flipped over, I use one of my long wires, go underneath the fuel tanks, and usually it's pretty wide open back there, so getting it isn't a huge issue. It's just the length that you need to deal with. So, all right, so the owner wants to use a Flight Composite Tech vent fitting because he's got the tank that goes with it now. So this is what we're going to be installing. Now we need to open this up a little bit. Basically the hole needs to be able to fit this knurled fitting through, and that is the same size as the thread. So we need to open this up to be almost the outside edge of what that used to be. So what I like to use for this, just because we want to be careful and this gives you more control, is our reamer tool. I've got a couple of these. This is an old Align one, but this allows us to open this guy up and not use a drill bit. Sometimes the drill bits can be a little bit sketchy because you don't know what's on the other side. We've also got this hole lined with plywood too on the inside, so it's not just going through the skin. And there we go, that should do it. Other nice thing about this fitting is it's gray, so it actually blends in really nice. Not that that matters, but it kind of does. We're gonna go a little more open. Basically, we've maxed out the reaming tool. I think it's maybe 13-ish millimeters or something like that. There we go, that's better. All right, guys, so easy actually to run the wire forward. So I ran my wire through here, my fishing wire, through here to there, hooked it up, pulled it through the engine compartment, and then ran it through the wing opening up to here, pulled it through, and then ran it forward. So that's kind of the three-step process. Took all the air stuff out of this section right here. So no need to have air stuff here. We're gonna simplify the air system. Also took 2 air tanks out. So these guys right here. When you're using an onboard compressor, you do not need to use a whole bunch of air tanks. Volker from V-Speak actually recommends no air tanks. On the big planes like this, we'll use 1 or 2 of them. So in this case, we'll use 2. There's still 2 remaining in there and we'll keep those guys in place. But we pulled out our gauges, our air fills, and I'm gonna whip up some plugs on my 3D printer, of course my bamboo printer, and we're going to just get these holes plugged off. So pretty simple stuff, but we'll just design those and they'll print nice and quick. So all I'm gonna do to design those is we're gonna take calipers, and we've got 2 air valves that we had sitting in there. So they are 7.76 millimeters. So I'm gonna make probably an 8 millimeter, maybe a 9 millimeter, sorry, we're gonna go smaller. So we're gonna be a 7 millimeter base and a little bit wider top. And then our other air gauge, we need to be smaller than 9.68 millimeters. So we just make a face plate that covers the hole and a little indent piece that'll keep it centered. So, all right, so our little plugs are done. They're very, very simple. They're just, there you can see we have the flat side, the little button that goes inside, 2 different sizes. So we'll just get those C8 in place. They're just nice decorative plugs rather than leaving the holes there. So get those glued in next. And additionally, we've been waiting to do this gear for quite some time. So this gear is now completed. We did the exact same treatment we did on the other landing gear. So everything looks good there. We've got no leaks. So we'll leave this just sitting in this position overnight. We'll check it again tomorrow, but I suspect everything is going to be just perfect. And about 8 hours later, our gear is still sitting there. We don't have any leaks anywhere, which is great. So gear fix worked on that guy. And that is gonna wrap up video 4 in the spa treatment and refinishing of the Skymaster A10 aircraft. Thanks guys for tuning in to this video. I think in the next video, we're gonna wrap everything up. So putting everything together, finalizing the installation or reinstallation of everything. So it's gonna be a good finale for this aircraft, which is super exciting. Hopefully we'll get to fly it very soon here shortly after we're done everything. So that's look forward to that, and hopefully we'll get a video of that as well too. If you're watching this video and you're not sure if you're a subscriber, check down below. If you're not a subscriber, it's free to hit that subscribe button down below. Thank you channel members for being a channel member. If you're watching this and you're curious what a channel member is, channel members get early access to our videos. So when we upload a video to YouTube, they get to see it right away. And it's a paid thing, but it's a great way to support the channel as well too. So thank you channel members for supporting the channel. Thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.